Welcome to the Tribes for Home Business podcast, your podcast for getting more influence, impact, income, and independence using Facebook groups. And that's really what we're all about, Facebook groups. So I'm Steve Harradine. I'm joined by my lovely wife, Sam.
Hi, Steve.
Who is just really, really good at Facebook groups. And this podcast is all about helping you guys to build your dream home business, really by creating your tribe, by creating your community and connecting with your audience. So that's really what we're going to talk about. And today, I think we're going to cover something that's really, really paramount in a lot of people's minds when they come into this new kind of area of Facebook groups and building an audience on Facebook, because Facebook's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? There's three things essentially that you can do on Facebook. So you can have a personal profile, you can have a Facebook page, and you can have a Facebook group. And those are kind of the main three. And we get this
every day.
I was going to say, we get this several times a week, don't we?
Yeah, at least, that people just don't understand the differences.
Yeah.
And what we've got to remember is that people are just coming onto Facebook, or they're just starting their business out. So it is a question we come up a lot. And that's why we wanted to do it so early on in these podcasts, just so we could get it completely clear, so that anybody who's listening is really completely understanding of the differences between your group, your personal profile, and your page. Yeah.
So if you've been wondering that yourself, if you're sitting there thinking, I don't get it, I don't know what the difference is. Do I need a page? Do I need a group? Do I need just to put stuff on my personal profile? Should I even be talking about my business on my personal profile? Because these are things that come up quite often. This is definitely going to be the episode for you. And I'm going to shut up for a lot of this episode. I'm going to bat it straight over to you, Sam.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. What should we start with?
Well, let's just ask the question. What's the difference? Tell us what the difference is between those three things: the page, the personal profile, and the group. And how do you treat them differently? Okay. Why should you treat them differently?
So we'll start with the page first of all, shall we?
Cool.
Okay, so your business page. Now that is we like to view it as a shop front. So your items should be going on there. There's a place over there where you can actually put your items for sale. You can have a shop over in Facebook, which is really cool. You can upload all your products over there. Now, the cool thing about having a shop is that it actually gets your brand awareness out there. So one thing I would always teach our clients is to put shareable content on your business page so that people will share it out and your name gets out there more.
Okay.
And Facebook Lives, they're brilliant on your business page as well. The only problem is there's no reach. There's no reach going on unless you pay for ads. I think last time I looked into it, the reach was less than 5%.
Yeah.
Which is crazy low when you think about it.
It's really bad when you look at because obviously we're all on Facebook to try and build an audience. Yeah. And I think this is the thing, because years ago, it wasn't like that.
No, when we first started using pages, it was
exactly
about 100%.
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, people were using them all the time. If you just roll back, a couple of years, I guess.
Yeah.
For that, maybe just a bit longer. People were using pages like mostly to talk about their business all the time. And they were getting really good numbers, getting really good reach. And then Facebook changed their algorithm and the reach.
And brought in ads.
Yeah, and brought in ads. And
ads are killing it.
Fair enough. Ads are great.
Yeah.
But it killed the reach. It killed the organic reach almost overnight. And people were saying, I want to use my page. I've been using my page. Look, I've got all these people on my page. I've got thousands and thousands of likes. Yeah. But what they didn't realize is that Facebook weren't showing their content to all of those thousands and thousands of people that had liked the page.
Tiny percentage.
Unless you paid.
And unless you paid, exactly. And I challenge you guys to go scroll through your news feeds right now. Actually, no, wait until the podcast is finished.
Yeah, don't go just yet.
But just scroll through your Facebook news feed and just see how many pages come up as opposed to how many groups come up and how many personal profiles come up. We did this as a test in our group, didn't we? And there was hardly any pages that are coming up anymore. They just hardly exist on your timeline anymore. So that to me is a good indicator that, you know what, we need to start using something else. Pages are really not the best way to get out your message and what's going on. And it's so hard as well to build a community over there because it's a one-way street with the conversation.
And just to clarify, what we're talking about here is if you are using organic methods, in other words, methods that you do for free, stuff that you're not paying for. If you're going to use advertisements, if you're buying ad space on Facebook, you definitely want to be using that stuff on your page. Your ad account only works through your Facebook page. So you do need a page. Don't go and shut your pages down.
No, definitely keep your page
open. You definitely need it, and it definitely serves a purpose, but it's it's very, very difficult to build an organic audience on a Facebook page. And that's I think it's the point we're making here.
Massively, yeah. And I'm just going to go over what you just said there. You do need a page. Don't go closing your pages down, because when all of this came out about Facebook groups and how amazing they are, the thing that most people said, should I shut my page down then? No, totally not. You definitely need it for brand awareness, because you've all got a link on your personal profile that leads to your page. The one thing that we would suggest on there is use your page as a filter to get people into your group. That's how we have our page set up.
Yep.
It's the perfect way to actually filter people over. The 5% that are coming, let's get them into the group where it's all going on. That's our philosophy, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's what we use it for.
Absolutely. And I think most of the people that we deal with anyway in our audience, they're not really quite ready for ads at this time. So the page is only going to be relatively useful to them. I wouldn't say give any real time and attention to the page unless you're looking to invest in ads.
Exactly. The only thing I would say on that score is, though, what you don't want is people coming to your page and it's been like a ghost town for the past 6 months.
True. Yeah.
So we just put maybe 2 or 3 posts on a week, just so that if anybody does stumble across it, there's actually some content on there and people can see it's kicking. Yep. It's an alive page. We are actually over there commenting and posting. But do we put all our attention to it? Absolutely not.
It is like a shop front. It is exactly the shop front. It's your business face. When people come to see what you're doing on Facebook, when they go to your page, it should represent your business. So you wouldn't necessarily put personal stuff on the page. You wouldn't do stuff to build your tribe so much on your. You do it a bit, but not so much on your page because of the low reach. It's a little more formal, I think, on your page.
And I think that's why I just don't vibe with it at all.
Exactly.
I use it to send people to our group. That's where I want people, because we can have a chat. We can have a proper get to know you. Let's have a backwards and forwards chat, which just doesn't happen on a page.
Exactly.
So use a page, absolutely, but use it to get them into your group and build your tribe.
So what about using your personal profile then? I'm gonna throw some questions at you, because I'm hoping these are the questions that are going to come up, because we get asked this a lot. Should we be selling on our personal profiles? You know, what sort of stuff should we put on our personal profiles? Because what most people are worried about is if they put anything businessy on there, are their family going to see it? Are Facebook going to take a dim view of it? Yeah. Should they create another profile to talk about their business, or should they separate you with different personal profiles? And I'm just going to
no problem.
Throw that at you.
I love these questions. No. First up, never, ever open 2 profiles on Facebook. Facebook hate it. How many times have we seen that people have opened a separate profile just for business and then they get shut down? And you're at risk of having both of your accounts shut down, so don't risk it. You are only allowed 1 profile, and you can use it perfectly well for business and pleasure, is my philosophy on it. Now, I know a lot of people say, yeah, but I want to put pictures of my kids on there and I want to just share my stuff. Absolutely fine. But what we are always teaching our clients is this is a business. You are in this as a business, and your kids' stuff and the stuff you want to share with people, send it to them via WhatsApp. Open a secret group where you can share all this stuff, or even set those posts to private. But for us particularly, we use our personal profiles as a business tool. Which,
I think, sorry, I'm just going to jump in and make one. Well, to me, it's a big distinction anyway. And I think this will resonate, and hopefully a few light bulbs will be going on. You have to define what kind of business you are. Now, for us, we are the business.
Absolutely.
And I would suspect if you're listening to this podcast, it's largely true of you too. You know, we aren't Nike. We aren't Coca-Cola. We aren't Apple. We don't have the big business page where we're going to get lots of people coming to us because of the company that we are. People are going to connect with us because of the people that we are. So when we start to, I mean, we our business is integrated into our lifestyle. So when we say, you know, put stuff on your personal profile, but you don't necessarily go out and talk about your business per se, but you can put behind the scenes stuff on there. Mention that you've got a business, because you are the business. Your face basically is the business.
Totally. Absolutely. And I think that's something that people find it hard to grasp. And honestly, hands up, I did too when I first started doing this. But we found a way that we incorporate pretty much any post that we put out into our business. And what that doesn't mean is that every post is like, buy my stuff, look at what I'm doing. totally not
Definitely
what we're
not
about.
that. No.
You do not sell on your personal profile. You do run the risk of having your account shut down. But what you can do is give an essence about what you're doing. So if you are out for a day, you can just tell people that you're out and about. You're just having a brilliant time. It could be on a Tuesday afternoon. People will know that you've got a blooming good business if you're out on a Tuesday afternoon when you should be sat in an office working somewhere. People are going to be thinking, how is she doing that? And anything that we do, I tie it somehow back to our business. How we can, for example, we just did a recent interview with Fraser Brooks. And so I took a screenshot of that because it was inside of our group and I put it on my personal profile and I told people that that's what was happening over in the group. So it's just a little something that's happened in the group and it was just guiding people over into the group. So everything I do, I am just gently nudging people into the group on my personal profile. We have our profile set up so that if anybody lands on our profile, it sends them over to the group because that's where we want to gather our tribe. I'm not gathering our tribe on my personal profile because I've got over 4,000 friends and I'm not sure, 2,500 followers. I'm not going to get to all of those people. They're not all going to see my post, but if I can get them inside our group, there's a good chance that they're going to see a lot more of our posts and they are our red hot prospects because they've put their hands up and said, I want to be over there.
And that's where we're kind of more us. And we'll get to the group thing in a minute. But the one important distinction that I'll sort of throw in there as well, because a lot of people say, well, why would we get people onto our personal profile? How do we get people from the personal profile to the group? And the personal profile, I think is fair to say, is one of the most underused elements inside of the Facebook platform.
It's like the biggest tool that you have.
Because people say, well, all right, I can show you a bit of stuff. I can put bits and pieces on there. But what nobody really picks up on is that when you go out and connect with somebody, like if you go into another person's Facebook group or you just meet somebody for the first time online on Facebook, the very, very first thing that person does, almost without fail, I would say.
100%, yeah.
Almost without fail, is they will go over and they will check out your personal profile.
Because we're nosy.
Because we are nosy people. Of
course we're nosy people. We're all nosy people.
Yeah.
And they'll come and check you out. And we have to understand this. Yeah. And we have to play to that so that when they come to check us out, we need to make sure that our personal profile is set up so that they can come and get, within seconds, how we can help them.
And I think that's the major distinction because when you post with a purpose, when you have your personal profile set up and designed to do a specific task, in our case, it's all about getting people from the personal profile into our Facebook group. When you have it designed that way, you just know that anybody that you kind of talk to online, you network with, because we're nosy, first thing, over to the personal profile. Once they hit that personal profile, because it's all set up the right way, there's an easy little breadcrumb trail there to take people into the Facebook group.
And it works, and that's the every single day. And we know it works because one of our questions when they come into our group is, how did you find the group? And it's like from your profile. So Absolutely. We know it works. We're not just saying this stuff. It actually works. So having your personal profile set up. Your personal profile is where you're chatting with your friends, where you're networking. And if you are not networking, you are missing a huge trick there. And we'll be talking more about that in later podcasts. But networking is one of the best ways to get people coming to you.
Absolutely.
Checking you out and then taking them on that journey. Like you said, the breadcrumb trail. And for us, it's to go over to our group and build our tribe.
Well, the way we like to look at it, and this is the way we always break it down, it's like your Facebook page is like your business. If you think of it like your shop front, like your business, that's your Facebook page. Your personal profile is more like a coffee shop. This is where you kind of just hang out with your friends.
Absolutely.
This is where you meet up and you just chit chat together and go, you know what, you wouldn't believe what happened to me today. Let me tell you about my day. Oh my goodness. This happened, that happened. And this is where we interact. This is where we build relationships with people.
People love that, don't they? Because they come back to your profile to see what's going on. When we've done things, we've gone out for days, or we've had the grandkids, or like not so long ago, Steve was in hospital and I journaled that through Facebook because that was a huge part of what was going on. Yeah. So every day I was updating people. People were asking me, people were PMing me, they were calling me to see what went on because it was part of our journey and it was like our mates. Like, why
exactly
aren't you in the coffee shop today, Steve?
Yeah, if you were sitting around, drinking coffee with your friends, you'd be like, oh, how's so-and-so? Oh, yeah, let me tell you, this happened today, or that, yeah, they got that job, or whatever it may be. That's exactly the way to approach your personal profile. That's the kind of content you want to put on there.
Totally.
But it's different from a group.
Totally different from a group. Yeah, so absolutely.
Tell us about groups.
Yeah. So you talked about the shop front and the coffee house, and we like to view our groups as a party. So we are inviting people from all over Facebook, all from different walks of life, to come together and join our party, which is our Facebook group. And as the host, we are the host. We're throwing this party. We're putting the party on. So it's our job to put some good music on. Yeah. Our job for food. Yeah, what food do you want? We're going to provide the food.
Absolutely.
The drink, which everyone's coming for, yeah? It's our job to do all of those things.
Not literally, by the way, guys. We are speaking in figurative terms here.
Figurative terms, yeah. But it's exactly the same in your group. It's like your job to get the party started. And you are bringing people from everywhere. You are gathering your tribe into your group.
Yeah.
And it's your job. A lot of people, I will say, open groups, like, ta-da, come and join me. And then they say, well, why isn't anybody talking to each other?
Yeah.
Why? What's going on? Nobody's commenting. Because you're not being the party host. Yeah. You need to go and do it first.
It's exactly the same as saying, look, come back to ours. We've got a party going on. And then just sitting them on the sofa, no music, just you sit there.
In the room.
Exactly. So what you've got to do is you've got to get the games going. You've got to go, let's start some party games. Let's have some music. Let's have some activity. Let's get some life. Have you met so-and-so?
Exactly.
The connections. You've got lots in common. You should talk to each other. And that's the difference of a group, isn't it? It's
so different in a group, because in a group, you think about it, on a page, you post, people comment. On your personal profile, usually you post and people comment underneath. But in your group, other people can post. Other people can come along and they can share their ideas. They can share what's going on. And it becomes their go-to place.
Yeah.
It becomes their safe haven. Because whatever mission and whatever culture you're building, they're all going to be in line with that and they're going to want to share. So they're going to come and share. And it's a place where you're just not the one talking. You're not just standing there broadcasting. Yeah. Everybody's got a voice in there.
I was going to say exactly that. The holy grail of a group, and again, this is why they're so powerful, but the holy grail of a group is not for you to be having a monologue with your audience. It's for your audience to be having a dialogue together. You really want your group all interacting and speaking together without you, because although you are, I'm loath to use the word the leader of the group. It's your group. Yeah, I think a host is a better
host,
way. Yeah. Although it's your group, what you really want everybody to do is mingle. Yeah. You want them all to start talking to each other and interacting with each other. And once you get that activity going on, and this is something that we get told a lot. We get people come in and go, I couldn't wait to get home from work so I could get into the group, because this is my get down. This is where I like to be.
When you think of it, though, there's a lot of people out there who are building home businesses, and I know we were the same. Nobody understands you. Like our family, nobody understands us, do they? When we start talking this stuff, their eyes glaze over and you can see them looking around the room like,
let's talk about marketing,
goodness.
family.
Yeah, they don't want to know. Our friends haven't got a clue what we do. So we don't really have anybody to speak to outside of our little world. So, and if you're in the same position, you're probably finding the same, that you can't talk to your other half about it. You can't talk to your friends about it because they don't understand. So the group is where you go, where people get you. They're just all on the same wavelength, all on the same level.
Well, they've all usually got their own language.
Yeah.
Each group, depending on what niche you're in. I mean, obviously we're in building business and home biz and, working online. But for you guys, it could be anything. I mean, when we were in the shabby chic niche, we would talk about things like chalk paint and distressing and dry brushing and things like that. And most other people were like, I don't really know what that is. So...
But even now, when we start talking about tribes and algorithms and groups and announcements and these different features, if I was to say that to my friends, they'd be like, what are you talking about? I have no idea. We don't have that in common. But when we go into our group, our Tribes for Home Business group, everybody gets it. Yeah. We're all on the same page. And that's the power of your group, that people will keep coming back because they've got that interest, that love of whatever it is you're talking about. And they want to be a part of that. because they don't have it outside in real world.
Exactly. And I'm gonna kind of introduce the term that you're going to hear a lot from us, because we're always talking about building know, like, and trust with your audience. It's the most powerful thing you can do with your audience, because let's not forget, we are in this for business. We are in this to help people, to make an impact, right? We're here to help people. And it's so much easier when people know you, like you, and trust you. And a Facebook group or a community grows that element like wildfire, faster than anything else.
Let's be honest, nowadays, if you'd have tried to run a business maybe 5-6 years ago, you probably wouldn't have needed know, like, and trust. Back then, you could throw a link out and people would buy. Now it's totally different on social media. People need to know you and they need to like you. Honestly, if you didn't like somebody, would you buy something from them? I know I wouldn't. There's
Most people,
way.
If there's somebody, even if they've got something you really want, if you don't like them, you'll normally either go without or walk 20 miles somewhere else to go buy it, rather than buy from someone you don't like.
Exactly. And if you don't trust them, would you hand over your credit card details? If you didn't trust that person, you just
only
wouldn't.
If you are a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
But you just wouldn't. So building that in your group. So you showing up in your group every day, you going and providing value, you being there for your audience, you answering questions. You know, I know you're going to get PMs from people. We get PMs all the time. And instead of going, oh no, I couldn't possibly answer that, go out, go answer people, go talk to people, just be a human. Because when you are just you are building that know, like, and trust without even trying. It's just you showing up as you for your tribe and just being there for them. And that goes a long way to building all that goodwill. It's
essential. The goodwill, the know, like, and trust. I mean, it's the same thing really. But what happens then is when you are in a position to go out and add value by making offers to your tribe, there's no resistance.
Weirdness.
There's no awkwardness.
Sales message, and there's no, would you like to buy my stuff? It's like, well, you don't even need to sell it to me because you've already given me so much value. I want what you've got. Just where do I sign?
It doesn't feel like a sale.
It's not a sale.
It feels like, look, I've got this thing, and they're like, oh, that's going to help me amazingly. Brilliant.
Definitely.
You know, great. There's some money. It's so much easier than what other people are doing online right now, which is going out and approaching people. And it follows a very simple principle. And the thing is, what you chase moves further away from you. If you go out and, you know, we always use the analogy of when you walk into a store and the guy comes walking across and says, can I help you at all? Our natural instinct, our natural thing is to just go, no, thanks. No, just looking.
We
back off, don't we? The barrier goes up. No, I don't want anything.
Maybe it's the English way, but we definitely do that. Yeah.
It's a natural thing. Whatever moves towards us, we step back from. So if you're chasing people, if you're hunting them down to try and sell them stuff, just know that the natural human reaction is to move further away, right? That's just always going to happen. But if we can attract people to us, if we can give them a reason to show up where we are and give them that value, we can build that know, like, and trust, then when it comes time to actually make an offer, it's so much easier. It's so much more natural. And that's how we have always done business. We don't prospect. We don't go chasing people. We don't look for other people.
PMs.
They come to us.
Yeah, it's a very different ball game, and this is why we wanted to bring this podcast, just so that you can see there is a better way. Because we speak to people who don't want to go out there and send the weird PMs about joining my business or buying my products. It feels weird.
Who does?
If it feels weird receiving it, how weird is it going to be to send it? Because the other person on the other end of that PM is thinking, oh no, here we go.
Yeah, if you don't like getting them, don't send them.
Exactly. No, don't. And you know what? There's no need to do that. So this is what we're going to, all this stuff we're going to be covering in these podcasts. But this one, we just wanted to get the absolute understanding of the 3 different platforms so that you know where to concentrate your efforts. And I would say there's a little bit of effort on all 3.
It's a business. There's always going to be effort.
Yeah.
You've always got to make the effort. There's no free rides in this world. We have to, whatever we're doing.
So I would put a small part to your business page, a lot to your personal profile, because that's how you're going to gather your network and then send them over to your group where you're going to put a fair bit of effort.
Yep.
And I would say in your group, just so you know, you're going to need to put a fair bit of effort in the beginning, but it's like that snowball. It just picks up momentum, doesn't it? And in the end, your group will take over and you won't need to be in there quite so much. And you're just out there on your personal profile, networking like crazy, bringing people in. It will happen. And if it's not happened for you just yet, stick around because we're going to help you with all of that.
Yeah. I mean, you again, last analogy, I promise, but it's almost like when you're trying to push start a car. This is with your community, with your group. Just to get that initial bit of momentum, you've really got to get your shoulder behind it and push. You've just got to really give it a good hard shove to get it moving. But once it gets a little bit of inertia, once it starts to get some momentum, it will start to run away from you and you can't even catch it. It's like it's going under its own steam now. And that's exactly what your group will become. You will have to put a little bit of effort in the beginning. You've got to be the host, right? You've got to put on some games and get people chatting and get some interaction going on. But once that happens and they start to talk to each other, you'll find it will just create a life and an energy of its own. And then you don't have to show up quite so much. I'm not saying don't ever show up.
Yeah, you'd still need to show up daily, but
your tribe do a lot of the work for you. I mean, there have been times in the recent past where we've said we can't make a training or we can't show up on this day because, like Sam said, I've had some hospital time. But our tribe have stepped in and said, no worries, we've got this. We'll cover that for you. We'll do the work for you. And they're amazing. And they do such a great job. And the tribe really responds well to that because, you know, they see the growth. They see these people blossoming and coming out. And they come from being this shy little thing that's come into the group. And the next thing you know,
they're on training.
They're delivering training and giving talks.
It's amazing.
It's a brilliant growth. And that's what we want for you guys. So that's why we're going to keep showing up and doing podcasts like this and delivering our best stuff, giving away all we got, really.
Yeah, every week, come and join us.
We've gone on a bit longer than we wanted to, so we're going to wrap this one up. But all I will say, if you haven't already, make sure you go over to this web URL. It's 20grouptips.com. That's the number 20grouptips.com. Download our free ebook. We're giving away 20 of our top tips to help you guys to build your group.
That is awesome. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
There's some good really tips cool there. Stuff. And guys, come over to our free group. Come join and get some more good stuff because we give away great content over there. And that's in Tribes for Home Business on Facebook. Just go and punch that into the search bar.
We got the page and the community. You want to get yourself inside the community because that's where it's all going on. Definitely.
Yeah, we'd love to see you in there. I think we're going to call this one a wrap.
Absolutely.
And we will see you in episode 3.
Can't
wait.
There.
See you guys.
Bye.